people, I bid you Ashoti. Assalamu alaikum. Hutep. Hola. Wherever you are in this world, I thank you for joining me this AM, this grand AM, top of the morning to you, wherever you are. Top of the day to you, wherever you are. I am Achoti Tamor, and you're now tuned in to Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, top of the morning, you probably going out to church, maybe. Maybe you're already at church, so you're going to just catch the replay. Like I say, I am so thankful that you are listening in. I want to just take this opportunity to say, if you did not have an opportunity yesterday to rest, you should definitely do that next weekend. You have to give your body a chance to rejuvenate. Resting is the key to healing. Resting is the key to healing. So you definitely have to give your body a chance to heal. So I just so grateful to the Most High for Saturdays where I can just kick back and just heal. So, what brings me to y'all this morning? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to Sister Dee Taylor. I see you. Thank you so much. What brings me here this morning? Well, several things, of course. Several things. Of course, you know, we have news, facts, and comments. So, at any point in time, I would do special reports on news streams or what's popping in the mainstream media. So, news, facts, and comments is a good place to go. Let me remove this overlay so you guys can see news, facts, and comments on YouTube. So the last live I did was, does a black vote matter? Election 2024. Well, that was on Sunday. And this Sunday, I'm going to do another special report on news, facts, and comments. And this time, we're going to take a deep dive into this particular issue. How the U.S. government persecution of the Uhuru activists threatens a First Amendment exception. We're going to take a deep dive into the whole Uhuru movement and what they're all about. The whole hands off Uhuru, hands off Africa, stop the FBI attacks on the African People's Socialist Party. As you see on your screen here, the Uhuru 3 trial is set for Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, in U.S. District Court, Middle District of Florida in Tampa. Tampa, Florida, September 3rd, 2024 is the trial date for the Uhuru 3. Now, some of you all may not be familiar with who the Uhuru 3 is. And so I thought that since, I guess, what's been making the news this past week was the State of the Union address that President Biden, your President Biden, um, gave to the nation, State of the Nation, right? So, one of the victims of these bogus charges levied against the Uhuru Three, one of those members, our elder, he spoke out and he gave an address to the African nation. Well, um, I said, well, let's go ahead and find out what the elder had to say in regards to the African nation and the Uhuru 3 trial date being set. He's going to address the allegations, and we're going to listen in a little bit, just a little bit. Like I said, we're going to go deeper into this situation, FBI's raid against the Uhuru Nation, his historical aspects and historical benefits and historical landmark precedent achievements that this organization has achieved. And the FBI wants to put them on trial and give them 15 years. And so we're going to take a deep dive look at that on News, Facts, and Comments this Sunday, tonight, 5 o'clock. We're going to go deeper, but I want to go ahead and let you guys listen to the elder that's facing charges, listen to what he has to say in regards to the trial date being set.
As you know, this meeting was called for the purpose of bringing everyone up to date on the state of the attempt or the intent by the United States government to put me in prison for the 50 or more years of struggle that I've led to advance the liberation of African people and colonized peoples everywhere. But before getting into that discussion, I really want to make just a couple of comments.
He was testing his equipment, making sure that he could be heard. By the way, that was so rude of me. Everyone listening right now may listen later, maybe tomorrow morning. I say coffee cups up. And if you're sipping on some tea right now, tea cups up to you on those herbals. So let's go ahead and get back into the video.
One thing that I want to say is that free Palestine, every square inch from the river to the sea, including the occupied territory currently known as Israel. Free Palestine from the river to the sea. The shameless murder of Palestinian people being conducted by white colonial powers is at the moment the greatest example of white nationalist colonial democracy on display. Secondly, I want to make a declaration that we must all unite to demand the freedom of Leonard Peltier. Free Leonard Peltier. Not another year. All people should make this demand, but especially all African people. We say this not only because his nearly 50-year imprisonment is unjust, but also because Africans and the indigenous of the Americas are locked together by blood and a common destiny. The fact is that when Africans were brought to these shores at gunpoint as colonially enslaved people, the indigenous people were the only friends we had. Our relationship is based on blood and common interests. Just as we were irretrievably and continue to be irretrievably connected to our motherland, Africa, the African Revolution, We are also part of the revolution of the Americas, to which we were forcibly dispersed from Africa during the construction of the colonial mode of production. American capitalism rests upon the twin pillars of African and indigenous colonialism, on stolen African labor and stolen indigenous land. And the imprisonment of Leonard Peltier is part of the continuous attack on the right of the indigenous people, as much as the attack on the Uhuru III is a part of the attack on Africa, and the attack occurring today in Gaza is about the maintaining of the colonial mode of production that has ensnared all the peoples of this earth. So thank you. On September 3rd of this year, the United States government plans to put me on trial for my lifetime work to win the liberation and unification of Africa and African people globally. The trial of me and 2 other members of the movement that I founded and lead is scheduled for the U.S. federal court in Tampa, Florida. It is a trial that threatens to imprison me for life and to diminish the already challenged constitutional rights of all who are presumed to enjoy citizenship guaranteed by the United States Constitution. While I am obviously the main target of this U.S. government attack, each of us, Penny Hess, Jesse Neville, and I, all face 15-year prison sentences. We are all innocent of the charges leveled against us by the United States government. This address to you is to alert you to the urgency of this moment and to win you to begin the organizing process to get to Tampa, Florida, the site of the planned September 3rd trial that threatens the limited freedom of everyone during this era of extreme political turbulence. First of all, I want to refresh the memory of everyone who may be familiar with this case that first came to public attention on July 29, 2022, with coordinated violent 5 a.m. pre-dawn military attacks on homes and offices of the African People's Socialist Party and Uhuru Movement in St. Petersburg, Florida, and St. Louis, Missouri, our movement's current headquarters. The military assault utilized flashbang stun grenades and military attired, mostly white men armed with assault weapons, mounted with laser targeting devices that were reflected on my chest upon exiting my home in one of the most economically depressed communities in the most economically depressed section of St. Louis. In South St. Louis, home to the majority of the white population, agents attacked our Solidarity Front of mostly white people and, like in the other targeted areas, use armored vehicles, stun grenades, and battering rams to crash doors and windows and facilitate the theft of communication devices such as cell phones, iPads, and computers. Our Solidarity Front headquarters were invaded, and the home of 2 other comrades of the Solidarity Movement endured a violent attack. White members of our Solidarity Front were also handcuffed and held at gunpoint by U.S. federal agents in a process that lasted for up to 7 hours of searches of homes and offices. At the same time, the U.S. government was attacking our movement, Uhuru House in St. Petersburg, Florida, where they temporarily took our radio station off the air, depriving us of the ability to communicate with our community and to alert the community and others of the attacks that was taking place. The government then looted our headquarters of computers, iPads, financial records, and other materials, including stuff from our archives that houses decades of the history of our party and the struggles of Africans and colonized peoples within the US and globally. My uninhabited home in St. Petersburg, Florida was also raided and looted by scores of military agents. And Akile Anai, a resident leader of our party, was also detained at gunpoint and her cell phone snatched. The attack on my homes in St. Petersburg and St. Louis was accompanied by a military shutdown of the African neighborhoods there. In at least one instance, African people had to show identification to leave or enter their homes in St. Petersburg, Florida. The entire African neighborhood became a colonially occupied territory. During the occupation of my home and neighborhood, after serious prodding and me being zip-tied and my wife, Onozene Ishatella, handcuffed behind our backs, we were told that the raids would be big news. This is what the agents told us. The raids would be big news in the morning after a U.S. Justice Department indictment was initiated in Tampa, Florida against a Russian national who was in Russia. My name, I was told, was in the indictment. The attack on my home and our properties, I was informed, was to execute a search warrant, apparently to obtain evidence of our culpability in crimes the Russian national was accused of having committed. So I want to say that in terms of the status of this case, 1 year following the FBI raids of the Uhuru Movement and 3 months after the formal indictment of the three of us that we know as the Uhuru Three in July of 2023, our legal team filed a motion for dismissal of the bogus charges against me, Penny Hess, and Jesse Neville. A hearing before a magistrate judge for oral arguments around this motion for dismissal was held in September of 2023. On Friday, January 26, 2024, U.S. Magistrate Judge Anthony Porcelli in the Federal District Court of Tampa, Florida, filed an order recommending that District Judge William Jung deny our motion for dismissal of the bogus charges against the three of us. A trial is now set for September 3rd, 2024, in the federal court in Tampa, Florida. The trial is expected to be at least 4 weeks long. You have to be there for this trial.
Okay, so he's appealing to everyone to assemble in Tampa, Florida, September 3rd. This is terrible, and all of this happened on the United States soil. The raid with armored vehicle trucks, confiscating cell phones and computers of an organization that's operating as a nonprofit organization. That's empowering the community, that's improving the community, and they are being accused of being Russian agents in in America, right? So the scenes that we see in Palestine, with the armored vehicles and things of that nature, that's the same way that the United States officials raided United States citizens' homes. This is where we at. This is where we're at. This is where we're at in the United States right now. And this is about freedom of speech. This is definitely about freedom of speech. So definitely tune in tonight on News, Facts, and Comments on YouTube. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If you're listening right now, please give me a thumbs up. And if you think this is newsworthy and other people should know about this event, or what the FBI did to this particular group, Uhuru Movement, please share the video in advance. I thank you. This is not something that we could just let go by unnoticed. Too many times, the powers that be, government, target individuals to send a message to quieten the masses. If we'll allow this to happen to one and not say anything, that's consent. So then it can happen to you. 50 years. He mentioned a brother that's sentenced to 50 years. Outrageous sentencing at every turn, in every case, when it comes to us. They want us to spend the majority of our productive life behind bars. And for the last couple of years here, it appears that the target is so-called Black African American men. There's a target on their backs. And in my opinion, it's tied to the prison industrial complex and the school to prison pipeline and the medical field. The diagnosis of our young men, the intolerance for our different learning abilities or different learning habits or different techniques leads to isolation. Now, even they're going so far as to discriminating against us or holding back, withholding adequate education based on our cultural differences. I.e., the case of the young man down, I believe he's in Houston, who just lost a lawsuit regarding how he chooses to wear his hair. No matter if his hair does not, to the unbiased eye, says that it does not violate the written guidelines, the way that he's styling it, the way that he's wearing it. He has dreads, and the dreads are long, but he wears them pinned up, so you don't even know that they're that long. So, in my opinion, he shouldn't have been targeted in such a manner, saying that he has to be suspended because or face in school suspension because he doesn't want to cut his dreads. This is how petty this government has become. And you go to court, and the court upholds what the school district has said. So your freedom of expression, your freedom of speech, your right to assemble is being threatened in this hour. States are changing laws based on your constitutional rights, based on you exercising your constitutional rights. It is damn near illegal to protest in Florida. You have to get approval to protest. Is that really a protest? That's like a rally or, an event, a parade or something, right? If I need a permit to protest, that goes under that First Amendment right. So, like I said, tonight, we're definitely going to dive deep into the Uhuru Movement and why the United States government is threatening your First Amendment rights. That's tonight at 5 o'clock on News, Facts, and Comments, Uhuru 3, and freedom of speech, and why it matters. Does it threaten your freedom of speech? I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. So, speaking of individuals getting excessive time for the so called crime, tonight we are going to be on a different platform following News, Facts, and Comments at News, Facts, and Comments Sunday rap session at 5 o'clock with the exploring the Uhuru 3 and the FBI raids and their upcoming trial, September 3rd, 2024. We're going to go to another platform, and that platform is TikTok. And I want to go ahead and share with you the subject matter that we're going to be talking about this coming this night tonight. We're gonna not this coming, it's tonight at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to be over on TikTok. Hold on, because you guys need to be on TikTok to see all this information. If you don't have a TikTok account, get your TikTok account. This is a special live that News, Facts, and Comments, along with Achoti Speaks, and along with this special brother who has graciously allowed us to use his platform. We're definitely so grateful for him. And shout out to Sister Dee Dee for the fantastic hookup. Shouts out to Sister Dee Dee. This sister has been working so hard to help our brother, Mr. Othel Wallace. And so tonight, she's hooked us up with this brother, and we're gonna go hard in the paint for this topic. So pay attention to this, and we'll talk about it when I come back on the other side. Are you or someone you know a victim of police excessive use of force, unlawful arrest, or illegal detainment? If the answer is yes, then join us for a live discussion this Sunday on TikTok, March 10th, 8 p.m. with Wavy Rich, co-host Achoti Henyard, as we discuss the American justice system, enemy number one, and the destruction of the African American family, the Otho Wallace case. Has the American justice system placed the African American male at a disadvantage and disproportionately jailed and imprisoned, and consequently destroyed the African American family network? Grab a mic, let your voice be heard. Let's talk on TikTok. Host Wavy Rich and co-host Achoti Henyard live on TikTok this Sunday, March 10th, 2024, 8 p.m. You don't want to miss this one. Are you? So that's what's going down tonight. So now I am trying to give you the grand hookup for tonight. 5 o'clock NFNC Sunday rap session. We're talking about the Uhuru 3. Then following that, over on TikTok at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to mosey on over to TikTok, and we're going to be on at Wavy Rich channel. He's gracious enough for us to come over there and allow me to co-host that very important topic, the American justice system, and the destruction of the Black family, the Othel Wallace case. So, with that being said, while if you cannot join us at 8 p.m. over on TikTok, then make sure you go over to the Othel.org website and make a donation. We are making inroads, everyone, in the spirit of righteousness, in the spirit of in stopping injustice. Go on over to Othel.org and make a donation. Um, no matter how small, just contribute, because this case affects not only Othel and those three babies you see in the picture right there, but it also affects your right to move, your right to assemble, your freedom of speech, and most importantly, your right to protect yourself. So once again, tonight, 8 p.m., make sure if you have a TikTok account, go on over to Wavy Rich at 8 p.m. We'll be live over there, yeah, most high willing. And I'll be co-hosting that show. I want to see y'all in the building. Let's turn up, and I want to be able to allow you to come up and speak your feelings on how you feel about the American criminal justice system and how it has derailed or destroyed the essence, the culture of the Black family. I want to hear how y'all feel about this, right? And at the same time, we're gonna always keep our brother Othel in mind, because they're trying to make sure that our brother Othel don't get a chance to be the father to his children. That's the destruction of another family behind a brother who's just doing self-defense, defending himself so that he could be live to see another day to take care of his children. That's what they supposedly want us to do. But for some reason, when several brothers are speaking on positive um, ways of life, right, living lifestyles, they're immediately emasculated or shunned or blackballed or shut down, blacklisted, however you want to say. They silence them. And so, by participating in donating to different causes, such as the Uhuru Movement and the Otho.org movement, you're letting your voice be heard that no, this is not going to stand. As long as we just keep reading about these stories and not saying anything, not participating in any grassroots active movements that's trying to make a difference, to say we're in disagreement with what you're imposing on a distinct group of people. Here again, we have to say no. Just say no. You're not doing that. And I apologize if y'all hear that noise in the background. Hopefully not. But trying to get the laundry done while I'm speaking to y'all. I must have an unbalanced load. But yeah, moving on. Don't forget, like I said, March 10th, that's tonight. That's tonight on TikTok, live discussion about the American justice system. Yeah, let's get it in. We're gonna be over at Wavy Rich's channel on TikTok, not here on YouTube. Over on TikTok at Wavy Rich's channel, and I'm gonna be your co-host, Koti Tamor. All right. With that being said, that was like a commercial break, but let's get back into coffee, herbs, and the cold tea. I want to know if y'all in the chat, I want to know if you all heard or familiar with Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. I know I came, I believe, maybe last week and talked about Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. I just want to know if y'all familiar with her, because she is making news again. Okay, so let's go to the video and see why she's trending once again.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard is facing a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit, accusing her of discriminating against the church. Redeemed Christian Church of God Resurrection Power Assembly alleges the mayor and the village failed to apply Dolton's zoning code by preventing the church from renovating the building it purchased. The pastor said the church needed more space because attendance has gone up. That church has operated in Dolton for the past 10 years. We're waiting for a response to the lawsuit from the village.
So, the law firm representing the church issued this statement to Fox.
Well, Election Day is
Oh,
less
hold
than
on,
2
hold on,
weeks
hold on. My
away, and
bad.
tonight.
I'm sorry, guys. Oh, sorry about that. But again, the law firm representing the church issued this statement on Fox 32 on the case. In all my years, I've never seen such a blatant disregard for an ordinance and religious civil rights. Religious institutions are permitted in the area under the zoning code based on statements from employees. The mayor is calling the shots, said John Mook with Mook and Baker Law. So earlier this week, Henyard vetoed a resolution that was passed by the village board last month to investigate her spending. The resolution received unanimous support and mandated the mayor to submit the village's financial records and called for an FBI investigation. So she vetoed the resolution to be investigated, and then now she's the church is suing her because she doesn't want them to get a code. She doesn't want them to have a zoning permit to extend their building. Um, they needed more space for the church through the attendance. You know, the increase in attendance, and the mayor said, "No, we're not going to give you the. We're not going to let you build." Why, mayor? Come on, sister. Now you're facing another lawsuit. Another lawsuit. She just does not want to admit that she's gone overboard and she's actually running this little town like she's a dictator. Like, overruling everything, locking the people out. I actually listened to a set-in on one of the city council, the last city council meeting, that now she finally allowed them to come back to city hall, and I sat in and I listened in on it, and she definitely has some. I don't like to use the word cronies, but let's just say there's some people that's gonna ride or die with her regardless, even when the facts are staring them straight in the face that she has some, at least the appearance of impropriety going on when it comes to the financial standing and status and charges and just debits and credits for the city or the village of Dolton we're talking about. So it's just amazing how people will lie just straight to your face and then repeat the lie and double down on lies. It's just astounding. So moving on from that, I want to draw your attention to another cause that you may be interested in supporting, and that is the cause of the Republic of New Africa. On March 29th through the 31st, they're having a 3-day event, New African Nation Day. What is a New African? The goals, aims, destiny, and principles of our people. March 29th through the 31st at the embassy in Columbus, Georgia. For more information and to register, contact 706-668-3403 or 706-577-6936, or you can email pg.ministryinformation@gmail.com. You can get a Eventbrite ticket. Here's a link there. If you want to get more information on this, please, on IG, this information is coming to you straight from IG. Hold on, let me share my screen. There we go. Now, this information is coming straight from their IG channel, Instagram channel. And as you can see on your screen, that's their Instagram channel is PG_Republic of New Africa. And Africa is spelled with a K instead of a C. Make sure you remember that. PG_Republic of New Africa with the K. Okay? So that's the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa is putting on this event. So they're going to be exploring the question, what is a new African? The goals, aims, destiny, and principles of our people. That's going to be a very good discussion. I would say, like we're in this day and age, we're talking about right to self-determination. We're talking about reparations, but where's the plan, right? So I think that event would definitely lead us into an avenue where we could definitely get some brainstorm on some different issues, and put together a real think tank that where people are assigned to different tasks and are committed to bringing forth the results. And all those individuals assigned to all those individual tasks makes up that whole body of government that will set forth the tasks, the goals of the nation, of a people, right? That's how it's done in this day and age. So, moving on. Let's talk about Georgia House Bill 955 that was introduced and where it stands today. Let me go ahead and share my tab over here. Let's get you guys in the mix. Get you guys in the know. Coffee cups up. And thank you for joining me on Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. And if you drank the herbal tea, teacups up to you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Give me a thumbs up. And if you think this information is worthy, share with your peers. All right, so we're talking about House Bill 955 by Representative Bruce of the 61st Mitchell of the 60th. So I get Bruce Mitchell of the 61st, 88 Bessemer of the 69th Gillard. These are different senators. My bad. Representative Bruce of 61st District, Mitchell of the 88th District, Baltimore of the 69th District, and Gilliard of the 102nd District, Williams of the 168th, and others. So I just wanted to give those people their credit because this is very important that you guys pay attention to what's going on in the General Assembly of Georgia. All right, so this is an act to amend Chapter 12 of the Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to commissions and other agencies, so as to create the Georgia Equity and Fairness Commission to provide for members and officers, to provide for meetings, quorum, and compensation, to provide for the commission's duties and powers, to provide for reporting, to provide a definition, to provide a short title, to provide legislative findings, to provide for automatic repeal to provide for related matters, to repeal conflicting laws, and for other purposes. That's I always hate when they say for other purposes, just as much as I hate when they say when you're on your job and they say and other duties. I don't like that. Right? That's too ambiguous. That's too broad. Right? So so this act shall be known and may be cited as the Georgia Equity and Fairness Commission. The General Assembly finds and declares the following: HB 955. Millions of Africans and their descendants were enslaved in the 13 American colonies in the United States, including Georgia colony and the state of Georgia from 1619 through 1865. The institution of chattel slavery was constitutionally and statutorily sanctioned by the United States government from 1789 through 1865. The chattel slavery that flourished in Georgia in the United States constituted an immoral and inhumane deprivation of each of Africans' life, liberty, African citizenship rights, and cultural heritage, and denied them the fruits of their own labor. A preponderance of scholarly, legal, community, evidentiary documentation, and popular culture markers constitute the basis for inquiry into the ongoing effects of the institution of chattel slavery in its legacy of uh, persistent systemic structures of discrimination on the living descendants of chattel slavery in society in Georgia and the United States. Following the abolition of chattel slavery, governments at federal, state, and local levels continue to perpetuate, condone, and often profit from practices that continue to brutalize and disadvantage the descendants of chattel slavery, including sharecropping, convict, convict leasing, Jim Crow laws, redlining, unequal and disproportionate treatment at the hands of the criminal justice system. Are y'all with me, ladies and gentlemen? How does that sound to you all? Put a one in the chat if this bill is hitting the nail on the head thus far. Let me know if Georgia is definitely headed on the right track. I'm liking the sound of this bill. As a result of the historic and continued discrimination, the descendants of chattel slavery continue to suffer debilitating economic, educational, and health hardships, including having a high level of incarceration, disproportionate unemployment rate, and an average of less than 1/16 of the wealth, a disparity which has worsened, not improved over time. So, if you want to read it all, I advise you to um, go to Georgia State Legislature House of Representatives, type in House Bill 955, do a search for House Bill 955, and it should come up. So, let's see. Let's see here. I want to see here where they talk about ban. If that's because they could do all these commissions all they want, and you find out find out the cost, but like where do you go from there? There's nothing written in here that says that how it's going to move through after the act is, you know what I mean? Like how do we ensure that this is going to be acted upon? It says the commission shall be abolished and this article shall stand repealed on June 30th, 2026. What? So that means that the commission is going to be over by June 2026 in 2 years. So they should have so they got 2 years to come up with something. So where does this go after that though? Like where's that in the act? Like all these things that they have the right to do, the commission will have the power to do. So here it is. Okay, let's see. The commission shall have the following powers: to accept public or private grants, devices, and bequests, to authorize entering into contracts or agreements through the commission's chairperson necessary or incidental to the performance of its duties, to establish rules, procedures for conducting business of the commission, to hold public hearings, and to request the attendance and testimony of such witnesses and the production of such documents as the commission deems necessary to fulfill its duties. The commission may request and receive information from appropriate state agencies which commission deems useful in fulfilling its duties. Such agencies shall cooperate with the commission with respect to such information and shall furnish all information requested by the commission to the extent permitted by law. And then it says the commission shall be abolished. So I'm like, okay, so I was going good. It was going good. You know, they laid out the facts, like, yeah, and they showed why we should receive some type of compensation. And then you say you're just establishing this commission? All members shall be appointed from persons recommended by organizations concerned with the issues of civil rights, human rights, racial. Oh, what? Okay, the commission should be composed of 11 members who are citizens of this state and shall be appointed as follows. 3 members appointed by the governor. 2 members appointed by the president of the Senate. 2 members appointed by a minority leader of the Senate. 2 members appointed by the Speaker of the House of Representatives. 2 members appointed by the minority leader of the House of Representatives. All members shall be appointed from persons recommended by organizations, human rights, social and economic justice and equality, reparations, and other issues concerning African American community. All members shall serve for the duration of the commission. Any vacancies shall be filled in the same manner in which the original appointment was made. The commission may elect officers other than the chairperson as it deemed necessary. So wait a minute. This sounds like we should be once again, and I said it on last Sunday, we should be once again paying attention to these individuals that are running for House of Representatives and the Senate. If you're voting, if you're planning to participate in the voting game, definitely research those individuals who are running, and particularly if you're living in Georgia, research those individuals who are running for a House of Representatives at the state level and the congressional level in Washington, D.C. It's very important if you're going to vote. Don't just vote straight down party line. I know things is really changing. We got the blacks for Trump and whatnot. Yeah. But let's not take our eyes off the prize. Because I haven't heard Donald Trump say that he wants to give so-called black folks African American reparations. He feels he has fallen short of saying that. But if you get individuals that are saying those terms, are not ashamed to say those terms, and not ashamed to say that, yes, America, it's time to pay up, then yeah, by all means, go right ahead and vote for that person, right? So I just wanted to give y'all a little tidbit on that, give y'all a heads up on that, let y'all know where that's at. Now, concerning Senate Bill 1092 in the Florida State Senate, I looked on yesterday and no, day before yesterday on Friday, and it was still making its way through the Appropriations Committee on Criminal and Civil Justice. So it's still in committee, and I am tracking the bill. So I should get a notice if any movement takes place on that bill. So it's getting close to me coming upon just over an hour, I believe. Yep, almost an hour. And I think that's enough time. I gave y'all enough to know that you are to be back here. Well, not back here, but back on YouTube. But this time you're going to go over to the news channel, News, Facts, and Comments, for a special report on the Uhuru Movement and the Uhuru 3. Do not forget, and if you're interested in donating to that legal defense cause, please be sure to go to handsoffyouhuru.org and look for the donation tab, donate right here, and that's how you can help out with that. So that's at News, Facts, and Comments at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time today. Then at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time today, we will be on TikTok, and we will be on Wavy Rich's channel discussing a very important topic, and that's the American criminal justice system and the destruction of the African American family, the Otha Wallace case. Join us on TikTok tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. All of your efforts towards donating to all of these causes is much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you all tonight over on TikTok. If you don't have a TikTok page, I think it's high time that you get a TikTok account, because that's where we'll be tonight at 8 p.m. Please join me there. Also, go over to otha.org if you can't make it tonight and make a charitable contribution today. Any amount would be much appreciated. The struggle continues, you guys, and I appreciate you all listening. I hope I was able to give you some information that you did not know about. If I did so, please share the video. If you waited this long and have not liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything. I am Achoti Tamar. This has been Coffee, Herbs, and Achoti. Coffee cups up to you wherever you are. Thank you for listening to me. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be with me, and I thank you. So with that, I love you all with the love of Yahuwah. Coffee cups up.